Hello and welcome to an episode of Your Business Hour with myself, Chantal. And I'm going to be chatting today to Nim. Good morning, Nim.
Morning, Chantal.
So Nim is a restaurant owner. She started up her business in Crystal Palace in 2006 and ran it for 12 years and then sold it. She currently runs a Thai restaurant in Epsom since 2015, which is now for 8 years. Before the running businesses, she was a teaching assistant at a primary school and also a part-time nursery teacher. Nim was born and grew up in Thailand and went to university there. Her life was interesting and she's done some various things in her life, but I'm not going to explain any of that because obviously that's Nim's story and she's going to tell you her story. So we're going to be chatting to Nim about her story, about her life, and also about her running businesses and restaurants and selling as well. So Nim, welcome to the show. Let's start. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you basically, your story. Tell us your story because it's a very interesting one.
Yeah, my name is Nim Hoy. I was born and grew up in Thailand, and I started to run the restaurant in 2006, as Chantal mentioned, and I went to the university in Thailand there, and also while I was in Thailand, I was a language teacher, so teaching Thai language to the foreigners. And so one of my students, that was John Hoy, who later became my husband. And so we got married in Thailand. And so we then moved to England when our first child was 9 months old. And so John was posted to Thailand as the economic advisor working as the embassy. And then we, when we came to live in the UK, our first child, Robert, went to the nursery school, and then I started to, getting a job at the nursery and helping out. First, I was helping out at Robert's nursery, and then we got, and then I got a job there. When and 2 years later, I expect the second child, David. And David was born in the UK, in Lewisham. And can I just, yeah. And then we,
I think you went on to India. Is that right? You moved into India?
Yes. Then we moved to India when David was about 7 months old. And so in India, we had a lot of help around the house. And so John was very pleased because of, he didn't have to worry about the boys at night.
Uh-huh.
So
and you had 3 children, did you not? So I think you were expecting your third child.
Yes, and while I was in India, I was expecting the third child, and unfortunately, in India, there was something to do with the blood transfusion, so we had to fly back to the UK
Okay.
to give third child. And then at that time, when we flew back to the UK, Kate was born, and so before Kate was born, the third child, Kate, was born. John said to me, "Well, wait until Friday." So I said, "Why we have to wait until Friday?" And so John said, "Because the boys were born on a Friday, so we have to till Friday then." And then that Friday, Kate was born. And at that time, David was just about 12 months old, and he loved poking onto Kate.
Yeah.
So when we flew back to India, Kate was about 3 weeks old. And so I got the job at the nursery there in India as well.
Right.
So so we lived in India for 4 years. So we came back to the UK, and I did my evening class, like I did my GCSE in English and math, and I would go further for the education later on. And when Robert was 10, David was 7, and Kate was 5, John got another post. We went back to Thailand, and I was so delighted that my family would see the children more often. And so all my children went to international school in Thailand and Bangkok. And I was lucky to get a job there as a teaching assistant. And our second years of living in Thailand as a family, John's twin sister had joined us at Christmas time. So we stayed at the resort in Khao Lak. Khao Lak is in the southern of Thailand. We had a lovely Christmas there. And on the Boxing Day, John's sister's family had left us for another trip early in the morning. So we said goodbye, and that was the last time that John and the children had to say goodbye to everyone. And why the children? And then we decided to spend our time on the beach because our flight wasn't due back to Bangkok until the afternoon. So we went to the beach, and the children were having a lovely time playing on the beach. And all of a sudden, I saw the water retreated to the sea, and I saw a big boat stand on the sand and some rocks as well. And then I suddenly heard someone shouting in Thai language that there was an earthquake in Phuket. And Phuket is the island on the Andaman Sea. So I urged my children to pack up the stuff and get ready to go. So I called John and Robert, who followed the water out to the sea, to have a closer look at the fish. So we saw the fish like Ringo on the sand. And so the children were so excited about that. And then there were people start running around in all directions. And so we started to run as well. Unfortunately, there was the only one way out to the main road. And to go onto the main road, we have to run in parallel to the beach for about 200 yards to get to the main road. So we decided to stop at one of the bungalows, which was about 1 meter high from the ground. I carry lots of stuff in my hands, and so while we were stopping at the bungalow, the water came behind me, and I was taken away first. So I told John and the children that don't worry about me, just try to save yourself. And John and Kate's faces were completely pale. That was the last time that I saw them. And David tried to reach out to me. I saw David and Robert was crying, and so I had no idea what happened to them after that. And so while I was in the water, I tried to grab something that I could reach, but the water kept pushing me back to the sea. So at that point, I decided not to swim, but to grab some air. So whenever there was a chance that whenever I can see the light at the top of my head, so I pushed myself very hard to get the air. And so I remember being dragging in and out of the sea for about 3 times. And so I have no idea what happened to my family. And then I was pushed onto the dry land, and I look around, and I was hoping that I would see my children and John in that area. But what I saw was a body that stuck on a tree, and an injured man that tried to move. So I saw his foot almost cut off from his leg, so he couldn't move very far. I asked if he needs some help. So there was a young man, a young Thai man, who came up to help, and we both managed to take him to the nearby house. I cleaned a wound for him and wrapped the cloth around his foot and leg. And in doing so, I was hoping that if someone saw my children and John, would help them as well. And that night, we were taken to the higher ground, and there were lots of people. Some of them managed to reunite with their loved ones. So, pardon me, I thought that I heard John's voice, and I looked around, and at the same time, I looked up as well. So in that dark sky, I saw a bright star, and my instinct told me that they were up there already. But I didn't lose all the hopes. So early in the morning, we were taken to the hospital. So I searched the names on the board, so hopefully in hope that I would find John and the children. And at that time, my sister who lived in Thailand, my sister in Thailand, heard the news. So they went down to help me searching for John and the children. And when I didn't see their names on the board in the hospital, so I decided to go and look around in the temple instead. So in the temple, I found David, and so I recognized him straight away. And then I told my sister, would you please take him to the hometown? And then I found another body of a girl, so at the age of 7. And I told them, would you please check whether that little girl has missed their two front teeth. And so the undertaker did check in her mouth, and he said, yes, she has lost her two front teeth. And so I said to my sister, could you please place her body in a coffin and take her to rest with David at the temple in my hometown. And then I carry on searching for the body. So the people from the embassy came to help me the following day, and John's boss came as well. And I spent time looking for Robert and John, but there was no hope on that. I decided to go back to Bangkok and spend time with David and Kate, who were resting in the temple. And in January, the tsunami was on the Boxing Day 26, 2004. And then in January, Robert's body was found. And so I went to collect his body and took him to my hometown and rest him with David and Kate. And on our wedding day, which was on the 24th of February 2005, I got a phone call from the embassy telling me that John's body was found. And so I went to collect his body on our wedding day. And so that was, it was very moving. And so all the bodies were found, and I took them to the temple and then have a cremation ceremony on the 5th of May. And after that, I spent some time in Bangkok and then decided to go back to the UK. As I said to myself, if I'm going to live alone, so I better start from day one. And I moved to the UK. When I first moved to the UK, I just didn't feel like myself at all. So I walked like a zombie. And I remember I almost got hit by the car once while crossing the road by not looking, because my mind was wandering all over the place. And while I was living in the UK, I got a job at the nursery, and I got a lot of support from the local people, and especially from John's colleagues and John's parents and his twin sisters as well. And so while I was working at school as a teaching assistant, I couldn't bear looking at the joy of the parents picking up their children, cuddle, and I said to myself, well, it's probably time to do something else. So I decided to buy a restaurant and to take my mind away from the children for the time being. And I started the restaurant business in 2006. And so start when I first started the restaurant, and it was very hard. But the hard work had never killed me. I've been through a hardship before in my childhood. My mother died when I was 7 years old, and that was left with me and my three sisters and my father. So, with that love and support from my family, from my father and my sisters, we all went through a hardship. So we didn't mind a hard work when we were young. So running the restaurant is another thing that came up in my mind, that hard work will never kill people. And so it's I didn't realize that the restaurant is not very not just a one person show. So it's you have to have a team to work in the restaurant. So I got the staff, and which wasn't that helpful at the beginning. And one day, while I was running the restaurant, there was a young man walk into the restaurant and ask for a job. And so I look at his CV and employ him straight away. So he just asked for a part-time job, basically. And then later on, he started to work for me full-time, and our relationship has developed, and we spend time and energy trying to build up the business. And then, so as I tried to get up on my feet, in 2008, the recession has hit the UK's economy quite hard. And so we have to put an effort and hard work to build up the business again. And because at that time, it was so difficult to go through it. So I decided to remortgage on the house. And so with that money, I managed to boost the business. So, and I got the money to invest it in the advertising, to employ more staff. And then the restaurant is getting it's getting busier and busier. And so the word of mouth has spread, and then it's become very popular in Crystal Palace. So, but because the restaurant was quite busy, so I decided to sell. And in 2018, the restaurant was sold. And and then I moved to Epsom. I bought another restaurant in Epsom in 2015. That was before I sold the restaurant in Crystal Palace. So when the restaurant was sold in 2018, I moved to Epsom and lived there. Still living there at the moment. So having lots of experience working in Crystal Palace is really helped me to start their business in Epsom. And in Epsom, I started to cook and to do all the things, do delivery and serve in the restaurant. Well, actually, to run the business, you have to be able to do everything, because sometimes the staff just called up 5 minutes before the time, just say, "Oh, I'm not well, so I need to take time off," and it's so you have to step in and do whatever you can. And sometimes the driver said, "Well, I cannot come," not just because of they're not well, but it's just because of they have something to do at home. So this kind of thing, you have to prepare for it. You have to get ready, and because you never know what's around the corner. It's just like my own life, when you're not expecting anything happen. So you just have to get yourself ready. I know I have to go through a lot of things that unexpected in my life, but the restaurant business also similar kind of thing, which is so unexpected, especially the recession, and now is the energy price. So it's so difficult to pull through it. But if you manage to do all the different positions in your business, especially the restaurant business, and so you will be able to get through it. So what I suggest anyone who would like to, start up the restaurant business like myself, and I think it's better if you do the business plan and then employ the right people, so that would help you go through, difficult times. Quite well, it's not that easy. Let's put it that way. But you will go through it. And so anyway, the things that I like about working in restaurant is that I can talk to people. I enjoy having a lovely time talking to the customers, and eventually, we make friends with. I make friends with them, and so most of the customers, they're very supportive, and I love chatting with them, and also I love cooking. So especially when you get the complimentary from the customer saying, "Oh, the food was lovely," and you just said, "Well, that's it's like a bonus. It's really help make you feel like you want to keep going.
Champ Consultants is an award-winning independent firm of highly experienced, qualified accountants and tax advisors based in Caterham, providing a fully comprehensive range of accountancy and tax services. If you would like simple but creative answers to your tax problems, call Champ Consultants, your business partner, on 01883 349 300.
And welcome back to Your Business Hour with me, Chantal, and we're chatting to Nim. So we've heard Nim's amazing story before the break. So Nim, let's talk about your restaurant now. So what made you, I'm really curious, because obviously your whole history in life, as we've discussed before, doesn't sort of lead you to the restaurant world, does it? So when you sort of came to England, what made you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to decide to run a restaurant?
Well, the reason I decided to run the restaurant was to do with, try to get away from the children. I mean, other children, not my children, because of, I love teaching a lot, but it's just because of, my story. When I see the parents, hacking to their children, and that's really hurt me. And so I have to, but I love socialize with people. But the restaurant business is one of the things that pop up in my mind, that I can be sociable with the others, and but not directly with the children. But every time that the family came into the restaurant with the children, I love chatting to the children more than so.
And did you ever have like a history of cooking or restaurant work or food work even?
No, actually, well, as a diplomat, I did quite a lot of entertaining as well. So we did a lot of cooking. So I oversee, the staff cooking, and so I'm very good at testing the food, so I know which one is nice and not nice to put on for the guests. And so anyway, I supervise the staff, and so with the quality control, I'm pretty confident. So anyway, to run the restaurant, and so to get a good staff, and so you have to try their food first, especially the chef. So you employ the chef, and you test the food, and so if it's not quite like it's not up to your standard, you can just say, "Oh, could you please put a bit more of this and that?" And so anyway, I myself, probably didn't know how to cook, but I can tell them what it should taste like. So at the beginning, when you employ the experienced chef, sometimes they just feel like, oh, they've been let down by my criticism, which is, I told them, well, look, this is not a criticism, but it's to do with the standard that I want to keep. And so if you work for me, could you please follow what what I want you to do? And anyway, so I did try to cook myself, and one day this young man walked into the restaurant and asked for a part-time job, and then so he had no idea what to cook either, but he was willing to learn how to cook, and so he did very well. So he's kind of follow what I try to instruct him what to do. And we work well as the partner. So that helped the restaurant, a lot, because then we become pretty established in Crystal Palace. And so because of the words of mouth that spread, oh, come to this restaurant, so the food standards is there, and then we keep it going that way. So once we manage to to employ more people, and whoever, if the chef walk in for the job, and we just have to tell them straight away, just say, well, look, this is our standard. No matter how many years you've been having the experience with the different restaurants, but could you please follow our recipe? And if they can't do that, so you just, try to find someone else. But as long as you know how to cook, that's the main thing. But that's one of the things about the staff. about running the restaurant. So a good chef is the a strong point, and it's your selling point as well. And also the front staff. And so if you get someone who's very thorough and very hardworking, and it really helps. And the communication between the front staff and the kitchen staff is also very important, especially when it comes with the, like a food allergy. So you have to make sure that, they both communicate. And as the owner, I always, at the restaurant and just oversee the things. And and I'd step in when there was a problem. And running the restaurant with like a dining style is not that difficult because of everything is within your sight. You can see it. But nowadays, especially since COVID, the business is aimed to the delivery, takeaway, more than the dine-in. And because the difficulty with the delivery takeaway is that, when the food arrived at the customer's house, you just, you have no idea how did it arrived at, and then when you got a call from the customer, complain that, the food gone cold and so, and we just say, okay, well, what we need, we will cook you a new one and try to deliver as soon as we could. And so, you have to spot on in solving the problem. Just whenever the customer called to complain about things, you deal with it immediately. Don't just say, the manager will talk to you. No, just because of sometimes, human, when people are hungry,
yes.
they can't wait. They just say, I want my food right now. And
yeah.
Especially, with the social media, a lot of them threatened to write a complaint on the social media and so on. But to keep your your name clean, it's better to deal with the problem straight away.
And that's the problem with social media, isn't it? A lot of people are more happy to put a criticism and a complaint than to put a compliment straight away, aren't they? When a business, you don't get a restaurant and then someone says, I had a really good meal at the restaurant in Epsom, whatever. But they're very happy to say, I didn't enjoy this meal at this restaurant very, very quickly. So sometimes, like you say, it's better to sort that problem out immediately so that it doesn't give someone an opportunity to criticise, because that criticism could be very detrimental, can't it?
That's right, yes. So that's, my policy, just deal with it straight away. And you come across I have come across the customers who always complain. I keep a record and just say, I even ban some of them. Please do not order anymore, because we're not happy to cook for you. Every time you order the food and you ask for either a refund or the food wasn't good. But if the food wasn't good, so how come that you keep ordering it?
Exactly.
So, that means something not quite right in you.
Yeah,
so
they just want a free food, I think, by the sound of it.
Yes. So anyway, it's fortunately, I only came across this type of customer just only once in a blue moon.
Oh, good.
So 18 years of running a business, so I found just a couple of them. So that was good.
Yeah, perfect. That's what we want, isn't it?
Yes.
And so you've said that you've tried different things in the restaurant as well. What have you enjoyed the most yourself in doing? Because you said that you've waitress, you've said you've done delivery, you've cooked in the kitchen as well. What do you enjoy the most, or do you just like everything?
I just like everything all the position in the restaurant except washing the dishes.
The washing up, yes, I think everyone agrees with that one.
Washing up and, cleaning is quite hard work.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. So, I think cooking is very therapeutic, especially, you know that what you put in your food, and when I'm cooking, I always thinking about the customer and whether, and I always like to cook a healthy stuff for the customers. And so with Thai food, we got a very well balanced and, with some meats, vegetables. And so when I'm cooking, I'm just thinking about, this is, will be good for the people's body and so and so. I've did a lot of reading on the cooking books myself, and also with the, nutritious and that stuff, and how, how the food has become like, like a medicine for our body. It doesn't work immediately, but it takes time, to absorb in our bodies anyway.
And what's your favourite dish then? What would be your favourite recommended dish?
Well, I personally like pad thai, which is a bit sweet, but anyway, the curry dish is quite nice as well. And so we do green curry, red curry, masman curry. But the Thai food is something to do with the spiciness and could be very spicy, especially pad krapao, which is, a stir fry with a lot of chilies and garlic. And so anyway, I think a lot of people get used to with the spicy food nowadays. And with the Thai food, it's something that, you can have it more often because of the taste of the food compared to the plain food like, chips, fish, and, which is probably, you can have it probably once a week or, twice a month. And I myself, can't live without Thai food. Because if you have to, I think when you get used to with the taste, you just enjoy it. It just wakes up your appetite, and you keep adding more and more chili until you can't taste it anymore. But too much chili, it could be quite overwhelming, and then you don't taste the food.
No.
But when I cook, I make sure that the customers not overwhelmed with the spice of the food. And but anyway, it's yes, I do enjoy cooking, and one of the dish that I like is the sushi, which is the the red curry based, and like a gravy kind of sauce that's topped on the fish. So you deep fry the fish and then put the sauce on top, and it's got Thai herbs as well. The Thai herbs is it's always like aromatic, and we use a lot of fresh ingredients in our cooking, Thai cooking, and that have to be imported from Thailand. And
So do you
that's
import? So you import quite a lot from Thailand, then, do you?
yes, but I personally didn't import directly, but I buy the stuff from the Oriental supermarkets, like the one in Croydon. And so, yes, they do have a lot of fresh ingredients from Thailand. And so, and the fresh ingredients, as you know, that they don't last for that long. So you have to do it, every week you go shopping. But the problem about this type of, business is when they don't have that ingredient available. So you have to buy the alternative stuff. Occasionally, you just have to buy a frozen herbs, which is okay if you, it's kind of, it helps you get by. And but whenever the fresh ingredient available, so you grab it immediately, so to make sure that your standard is there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the food business is about the standard. So if you don't keep up with the standard, you won't last for that long. And
so where is? So go ahead, carry on.
now I know that some people cut the corner, like when the things has become quite expensive, especially food at the moment. And so they don't really, they opt out that ingredient not to put in. So I rather tell my customer, sorry, we run out of this dish, so we can't do this one today until the ingredients become available. So we just put it back on the track again. And I think it's no point to, use the alternative ingredient, just try to compensate it. And it doesn't make the authentic food. So, yes, it's better to, to make sure that you either take it off the menu for the time being and put it back on again. And but most of the time, the ingredients I manage to find, if not one, the particular shop that I go shopping, I will get it from the different shops anyway. And but nowadays, like you can get some fish sauce in Tesco in the big supermarket like that. They do sell a lot of, Oriental stuff now. And
I think people are becoming more interested in Oriental food now, aren't they? Really, so people's taste, like you say, your taste buds change. The more chili you have, maybe the more you want, and everything else. Exactly. So people's taste buds are changing around the world, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, I think yes, and also it's quite easy to transport the fresh ingredient as well. And so, yeah, the world getting smaller.
Yeah, exactly. And so remind us, your restaurant whereabouts is your restaurant and what's it called?
It's Thai Crystal Restaurant. So mine is located in the Epsom Yield. So on the Kingston bypass is 207 Kingston Road. I know it's not on the busy, area, but it's on the there's a it's in a residential area which I've been working in that restaurant since 2015, and I got 20 seating in the restaurant and do all sort of things like delivery, takeaway, collection, and so anyway, yeah, and it's easy to park as well if you come to collect the food, and yes, plenty of room to park, and
or even
free.
just go inside the restaurant for a nice meal instead of getting a takeaway or a delivery.
Yes, everything.
And have the good
yes.
service and the good customer service and standard. Much better idea, isn't it?
And you can always see me there because I always at the site, it's the quality control that I always there.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Great. So we have actually come to the end of our show. It's been an amazing show. It's been an amazing story for you. And I want everybody now to go to the Thai Crystal in Epsom Ewell. You can get a takeaway, you can get a delivery, but you'll get a much better service when you go and eat in. And you can get to meet Nim as well. If you're not sure what Nim looks like, then you can also go onto our Instagram or our Facebook, Your Business Hour. And today we've uploaded our normal photo of our guest, and Nim's there. So if you get to see her, you'll say hi and you can tell her that you heard her on Ridge Radio or on Your Business Hour. So thank you very much, Nim. It's an amazing story. Thank you so much. You're a very brave, amazing woman. The show is recorded and is available on podcast. So if you're listening to this on podcast, brilliant. You can catch all our podcasts on Your Business Hour, and that's on all our podcast channels, and you can catch everything there as well. We're also on Facebook and on Instagram, Your Business Hour, so you can find us there as well. If you happen to know anybody else who may have an amazing story or want to share a business idea or share business tips as well, then please do get them to contact us. They can contact us via the socials and we can get them onto our show as well. That's it from me today. Thank you again, Nim. It's been amazing listening to you talk. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I look forward to coming to your restaurant one day as well. I definitely will be there. I love Thai food. So yes, I will definitely be there, definitely. So we look forward to meeting you in person one day as well, rather than on our Zoom conversation.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. That's it from me, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening.